Obese people of Reddit, what is something non-obese people don't understand or can't understand? How it feels when the wee fit lady says, "That's obese" in her cheery-ass voice. How much you dread people taking photos of you because it always ruins your day to see yourself in a photo. When you're fat, but people like you, they will divorce your fatness from your character. But they'll still talk negatively about fat people in front of you simply because of their fatness, and you just sort of sit there like, finding clothes that fit, worrying if furniture would support you. I have been heavy and light and back again several times, which takes a massive toll on the body on its own, but there you go. I have always mentally been obese, in terms of the space I think I take up in the world. Even at my lightest, which was about 10 pounds north of my ideal weight, I would still check every chair to make sure it's not rickety, still turn sideways to get between things when I didn't need to, still eyeball things like amusement park rides and theater seats because I thought I wouldn't fit comfortably. Obesity has a huge impact on the body, but also on the mind. It's why they say things to men like, "Find a fat girl to have sex with, she'll be grateful." It's also a little bit of armor though. If anyone is going to make fun of me, it's going to be for one thing, being fat. No other insecurities ever get picked on. I'm seen as only being one thing, so I've gotten pretty okay with people pointing it out. How you become expected to be the garbage disposal. Oh, hey, there's leftover cake from coworker's birthday thing. Well, take it to fat coworker, they'll eat it. Or the last donut or whatever. And then they get all upset when we say no and are like it will go to waste. Because I'm already fat, so what does it matter, right? How people treat you. With active disdain. People glare at you, they scoff at you, they make faces of disgust when seeing you. Random ass people feel free to honk at you and yell shit from their car when you walk alongside the road. The hatred is honestly intense. Just how much internalized shame we carry. If you've seen someone who was really skinny struggle with shame, with thinking that they are too fat, and feeling guilty about how they looked out, that same shame lives inside so many of us. And a lot of us are honestly doing the best we can with subpar health care and normalized stigma. Unless you're a medical professional who specialized in weight loss, there's probably nothing you can say to them about their weight that they haven't already heard or are not already well aware of. Being invisible. Also, that you are assumed guilty for anything not just related to food just cause you're overweight. Fat people, especially women, have a far higher guilty verdict in all US courts. Yes, I get that it's ironic that one can be invisible until someone needs to attribute blame. That for some of us, losing weight is extremely difficult. Some medications can make you excessively hungry. Also, those of us with long-term depression and anxiety issues often use food as a source of comfort. We know it's a poor choice, but in the moment, we don't think of anything but eating something tasty. Having people patronize us actually makes things worse, not better. It is really easy to gain weight over time. You get a sedentary job and you snack occasionally, and in the evening you watch TV or read a book instead of going out. So you weigh 3 pounds more than you did at this time last year. No big deal right now. Multiply that by 15 years or so. All of a sudden, it is your 40th birthday, and you somehow weigh 50 pounds more than you did in college. It isn't because you always eat 2 boxes of Oreos a night, you just gained a little, year after year. Also, it is a lot harder to lose weight when you were heavy. When I was 25 and thought I had gained a few pounds, I'd start jogging. Pretty soon, I'd be able to run 2 or 3 miles at a shot, and hey, problem solved. Now, I'm older and heavier, and that means I'm a lot more prone to injury. So I try to work out, and my knees start hurting again, or I aggravate an old foot injury, and it gets frustrating. There are workarounds, of course. I can swim and I can lift weights. But it is all harder than it was when I was young. Just because we are obese doesn't mean we can't do physical activity. People don't have to act surprised that we can indeed participate. I've heard this from people when I've gone to play soccer or any other sport. I am not the fittest guy playing, but it doesn't mean that I'm going to die if I run around for a bit. How hard it is to lose weight, especially when you struggle with depression too. I need to lose 50 kg badly. A lot of people don't understand that food addiction is just like any other addiction. They treat you like you're a disgusting pig, and why can't you just stop eating? Why can't you just eat healthier? Why can't you just be better? But with an addiction like alcohol or heroin, the goal is to completely wean you off of, and then avoid the substance. You can't do that with food. You have to completely relearn how to nourish yourself and see food as fuel. People treat you better when you're thin. If you're fat and you're trying to eat healthy or work out, you still get stared at and made fun of. If you eat unhealthy, you get stared at and made fun of. You can't win. people still think it's completely okay to be mean to and make fun of fat people because it's completely their fault, right? You see it all over Reddit. Binge eating disorder is an eating disorder just like anorexia is, but it gets much more pity and understanding than BD. How much advice people try to give you. Why eating an apple is so much healthier than eating a cookie. Or why it's so dangerous to be overweight. I know you are worried and I appreciate it, and I really do know these things. I'm really trying to keep up with you, but I can't run a mile every day. I can walk at my own pace and cut out the things that I can, but it's not working for me the way that it used to. Edit. Typo. I have lost 180 pounds after having a gastric bypass 22 months ago. While the physical changes are awesome, the best thing is that my mind can focus on things other than my weight. I hadn't realized that the thoughts about my weight and food were a constant background chatter. Can I park close enough to the supermarket door that I can get inside without stopping? Or will the calf have some of the chairs left that I can fit in? And so on all of the time. So much of that has dropped away, yet I wasn't fully aware that it was clogging my thoughts until it was gone, like only noticing that your radiators were making a noise once the boiler goes off at night, and they fall silent. I am now at peace. That sometimes medicine makes you gain weight. Like my meds, I'm trying to lose the extra 40 pounds I've put on since cancer. And here I thought chemotherapy would make me skinny. As someone who was once obese, and now is just a bit overweight, holy fuck is it hard to keep it off. I still want to eat like I did when I was heavier. From a woman's perspective, that men don't think you are allowed to say no to them or reject them. There are a lot of men out there who think because you're fat, you're probably lonely and you should be happy with any male attention you get.